right, guys, welcome back to the Side Dish Podcast. I'm your host, Aaron Shin, joined as always by my co-host, Jay Lee.
Hey.
And today we have a very special guest. It's our young Aaron Choe, the brother from the Bay Area.
Is it going to be confusing because my name's Aaron?
Yeah, but we'll just call you Aaron. You can just call me Shin or something.
Shin.
Are you from Cupertino, Aaron?
I lived in Saratoga.
Saratoga, that's what it is.
And then East San Jose. I think I lived in East San Jose the longest,
Okay.
but I think I was born in Milpitas.
Okay.
I don't remember.
All areas that I know. And then
Yeah.
you went to church, basically Tammy's family, Tammy's dad, Tammy's a girl I went to church with. I think her dad was a pastor at your church. I think that's how we bonded when we first met.
You know Tammy?
Yeah.
Oh, crazy. I don't know Tammy that
But you know her
well,
brothers.
But I knew her growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we went to church together or, sometimes when you go to your friend's church. So I remember seeing her there.
Yeah.
And I think she went to high school like right next to me.
Yeah.
Like Limbrook or something.
Yeah, Limbrook High. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Nice.
So small world, small Bay Area connection. And also, obviously, you have listened to our podcast before, and very early stages were very encouraging to us, Aaron. So thank you very much for your support. You were one of the few that would actually be like, yo, I checked out the last episode. Like, I really liked it. And that honestly helped us motivate us to keep going.
I mean, your podcast is kind of a nice break because the ones that I listen to are so specific to like, my career or like self-help. So I kind of liked it that I know you guys, but not that well. So it's fun listening to a podcast where you know the people who are actually talking.
Yeah. I also feel like people
different.
have said that listening to our podcast is very similar to just hanging out with like some kids you grew up with, especially because we have a lot of listeners might have similar backgrounds to us, like Korean American or third culture, more like Western influenced Asians. And a lot of the things we talk about tend to resonate in that way. Like speaking of resonating, like for example, the church stuff, we've leaned into our church upbringings with like church retreat episodes or like Bible camp episodes. Like, did any of those episodes resonate with you at all, or?
Not really. I wasn't that into
You were
church.
not really like a church boy then.
I mean, like I went to, but more to just meet other Korean people.
Gotcha.
Because the schools that I went to, the areas that I grew up in, didn't really have a lot of Koreans. Up until high school, I think I was usually like one of like two Koreans at my school, including my sister.
East Oakland, right? You were saying
not East Oakland, East San Jose.
East San Jose.
But even like Santa Clara, some of the areas I grew up in, there were no Koreans.
That's so surprising because Santa Clara has that really long stretch of the street where it's like a bunch of Korean barbecue and saunas and stuff.
Yeah, that's true. But I guess the side that I was living in, there's like no Koreans there.
You were on the wrong side of the tracks, like literally.
Well, I try to tell people because, it's weird, like Korean culture is popular right now.
Yeah.
But I specifically remember growing up, like kids didn't know what Korea was.
Oh, for sure.
They would say like,
Absolutely.
are you Chinese or Japanese? And they're like, Korea, like what's that? Like the war?
Your part of town, was it mostly like Vietnamese or?
Yeah, a lot of Vietnamese. There weren't a lot of Asian. Filipinos. I went to Catholic school in middle school and high school, so a lot of Filipinos. So that was kind of like my Asian base.
Cool.
Yeah,
Catholic school. How was
Yeah.
that, man? Was it all boys?
No.
Thank
The one that
God.
I went to was not. And my pastor could actually speak fluent Korean, which is crazy.
Whoa.
Yeah, because he was a missionary, or he fought in the Korean War, and then he was like some sort of like missionary or something.
Cool.
But it was so crazy because I remember we went into our school and. It was around like January and he like knocks on my window. Like my dad is driving and he's like, 새해 복 많이 받으세요. My dad's like, what the heck is going on?
He trusted
and this
him.
Italian guy speaks like fluent Korean. Like he knew all the bad words. And I remember he would always like swear at us in Korean, which is like so crazy.
I love that this is like a religious leader at your school being
Yeah,
like, hey,
yeah.
shipseki.
Yeah, and my pastor was really famous. Like, do you know Gary Larson, who did the Far Side comics?
Yeah, Larson,
Yeah, like
yeah.
he like dedicated some comics to him.
Whoa.
Like, yeah, so
Because they
he's
fought in the
pretty
war
famous.
together or something?
No, just because like Father Jim, he's kind of he's Catholic, he's religious, but he's just such a character that I think he was a pretty important figure in the like Bay Area.
Yeah,
So-
and Larson is from the Bay Area,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah, I
Okay,
think he's from
cool.
like San Francisco around there.
Did you grow up coming to Korea often? Did you speak Korean at home and stuff too?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was raised mostly by my grandma, so we spoke a lot of Korean. And then I came here a lot. Ever since I was like born, I came here probably like every year.
Oh, wow.
And then in middle school and high school, I would spend like my summers here.
entire summers.
Yeah. I was like really just into Korean culture then. So I just wanted to come here like all the time, which is funny because when I was younger, I was like to my parents, like, can we move to Korea?
Wow.
My dad's like, no, why?
I was just surfing the internet the other day, and you remember like Asian pride was huge in our area, right?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't realize that apparently was just a Bay Area thing, like the real like AZN pride.
I saw the thing on the cartoon. Right. It's like, yeah, that was like so crazy.
I know,
Flash from the past.
It was so trippy because I really thought that every Asian in America was like, hell yeah, AZN pride, baggy pants, spiky hair, the spiky tips.
Wait a minute, we had that too in Orange County.
I think it was like all the way down to LA.
Oh, so it did make it down to LA.
Yeah. Okay. It was a California thing.
So it was a California thing.
Yeah.
No, but the article was making it sound like it was really mostly a Bay Area thing, and I was like, what? That's so random because there's not even that many Koreans in the Bay, but there's a lot of Asians. So
that was like my school. I think when like Fast and the Furious came out, it was like a really big deal.
Wait, how old are you, Aaron? You're 3 years older.
I'm 42.
42.
Now. So 82.
Okay, so
like
you're
the end of 82.
6 years older than us. Oh, I see. Okay.
But I wasn't really into like that. I think there was a time where I was trying to like embrace and get in touch with my Asian side. So I was trying to be like overly Asian, but it didn't work out and I felt like rejected. So I quickly got out of that phase. And my school was kind of weird because there's all these like Asian gangs and stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a lot of gangs in San Jose.
They're so scary. Like, you know, the way that those kyopos would talk, they'd be like, yeah, 죽을래 or something.
Yeah.
And like you have to like insa to each other and it's like nobody's speaking like good Korean or anything, but they expect you to speak Korean. So I think around that point, I just kind of fell in with my friends who are like more like into alternative culture. Like they're like hippies and they smoke cloves and stuff like that during lunch breaks. And I was like, this is like way more my people. Like I will never fit in with these like Asian gangsters.
Gangbangers. Yeah.
They're not even like, cause like, you know,
like
Saratoga is a
wannabes.
really nice school, right? And the school that you went to is a really good school. So they're not like actual like gangs. You know, it's like when you go to the east side, those are real gangs, you know? So it's just like kids with like really nice cars who, I don't know.
It's like that movie, Better Luck Tomorrow.
It is.
Yeah.
That actually, you know that movie Didi that came out recently?
I loved it, by the way.
And a lot of people, you know, born in that generation are saying like, oh, that was like my high school experience. But I found that Better Luck Tomorrow was pretty accurate of like how my high school was.
Yeah.
You know, like kids who are really studious, who have a lot of pressure on them to be like model, you know, Asian American citizens. And then also like maybe the dark side that some of them would fall into or like the dual kind of lives that they live.
Yeah.
So I saw that and was like, wow, it's a really good movie.
That makes sense because that movie, I think, came out in 2000 or 99, which is
that like
when you
launched
graduated.
Justin Lin's career.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's zoom out a little bit. So you came to Korea how long ago then?
I came to Korea almost 17 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, been a while.
And you got married 2 years ago.
Yes.
How's married life so far? You got basically married the same year that Jay and I did, actually, right? Yeah.
I love it. It's awesome. I didn't realize being married was as cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long were you and Sangi dating before you guys got married?
It's going to be our 10th year anniversary next month.
Wow.
Yeah. So
awesome.
we've been together
Congrats,
for a long time.
man. Next
Thank you.
month.
Yeah.
10 years, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah,
That's a long time.
I am very surprised.
Are you guys going to go on like a big vacation or anything?
No, we don't have plans because my wife tore her hip cartilage last year.
Okay.
So she hasn't been able to walk well. So all the places we want to go to, like, you know, Japan or, you know, it's like it requires a lot of walking. And going to the U.S. right now is kind of scary.
Yeah.
So we're just figuring out. I want her to like kind of get better, and then we'll figure out where we want
Has
to go.
she been, I guess, if you guys have been here the whole time since you guys got married, because Jaehyun's in the same boat. Like, she's not naturalized or a green card holder yet, right? Because we're just in Korea. But like, does your wife have any plans? Do you guys have any plans on maybe going back to the States or?
No.
No, right?
I'm kind of one of those gyopos who doesn't like look, you know, back at like America,
Sure.
like, you know, like, oh, I miss, you know, hamburgers and stuff like that.
I feel you. Especially because
Like,
we have everything we could want out
I'm pretty
here.
settled here, and
Yeah.
I wanted to move here like from the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, it's not always easy for gyopos, but I like it here, and I think it's a nice base, and I like going around Asia a lot. So it's good. I mean, I do think about it though. I think if for work, like it might be better for me to be in LA or New York, or if I want to focus like more on my music, being maybe in Berlin or something. But I love Korea, and I think the quality of life here is still
for
good.
sure.
So
well, actually, I don't want to rush ahead, but so basically, the dish of the week, I want to just. There's a lot of different things we can touch on, but I want to say the dish of the week is your daily schedule, because that's what we're most curious about.
Oh, yeah.
Like I asked Jaehyun, I was like, what do you think we should talk about on the pod with Aaron? And she goes, quote,
like my routine.
Yeah, she goes, I want to know Aaron's daily life. He doesn't drink. He DJs at crazy hours. Oh, and he bakes. He makes good pizza. So she those are the things that Jaehyun was curious about. And I was also curious too, because I always see on Instagram that you're playing at like Nyapi at 2 a.m. on a Saturday or something.
Yeah.
Like, what is your daily schedule like?
It's pretty normal. Like during the week, like being freelance, you really need to have a routine. I'm kind of ADHD and I can be like chaotic in my own way, and I can procrastinate a lot. So unless I have a routine, it's hard for me to do everything that I want to do. Usually I wake up, I drink water and then I go jogging.
Oh, so you run every morning?
I try to.
Wow.
And then, or like lift weights or something. I've been trying to like build muscle for the first time, and because I'm getting older and I don't want like back problems and stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
So I do that, and then I go home. Sometimes in the morning though, I start with meetings because I have a lot of clients that are based in the U.S., like New York or LA. So I usually have to do meetings sometimes at 7. So I do that. Then I try to go jog, and then I eat like lunch. And my wife is also freelance. She works from home too.
You're a designer, right?
Yeah, she's a bookmaker.
Oh, cool.
So we usually have lunch together, and I make something. Like today, I made like this Middle Eastern bowl. It was really good.
Nice.
While listening to like a Jesse Eisenberg podcast. And then I spent some time writing because I'm preparing some scripts because I'm going to shoot some short films.
Sick.
And then later do some work, and then try to go home. And I try to watch a lot of films these days or read more. So I go home and we try to be, in bed and watching something. Like this year so far, I've watched 40 movies, which is like kind of crazy.
I feel because you're
but I'm not always like this. I don't want to make people feel bad.
No, you're describing like the ideal, productive, fulfilling day. I'm sure there are days where like maybe none of those things happen. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, because sometimes, like the other side of being freelance too, you do worry about like your future and like, am I going to get, you might go through periods where you don't have work.
Yeah.
But you have to use that time and be productive with it.
Absolutely.
So that's why it's like, oh, well, I don't have work from January to now. So I should just like do things I want to do or like update my website or something.
Where do you get your films from that you want to watch? Are you rewatching a lot of classics with your wife, trying to educate her or exploring new?
So we're pretty much like subscribed to a lot of the streaming services.
Are you on the Criterion Collection as well?
I actually did Mubi, but I don't know. I felt bad. I didn't get to watch like any of the movies on there. I think because if I want to watch a movie with my wife, because my wife, she doesn't speak like English so comfortably, we have to usually watch like a movie with subtitles.
Right.
Or, watching like a French movie or a Chinese movie is difficult.
Oh, yeah.
We have it in a way where we can perfectly like sync it, but we have to watch it on 2 different like laptops. And Tangi is so funny because I'm the DJ, but she's really good at like syncing and hearing the differences in beat matching, like the voice.
The RPMs are matched up.
Yeah. So these days we watch a lot of Watcha because Watcha has a lot of the kind of indie or art films that we like. And then I know like Coupang Play got like HBO recently.
Yeah.
So I really wanted my wife to watch The Rehearsal.
Oh my God, such a
and
freaking
just,
great show.
like trying to explain that to like a like person who doesn't know
levels of like self-awareness and irony of that show. Yeah.
I was trying to explain Nathan Fielder to her and like Nathan for you. And I was like, this guy, he's like a bad businessman and he made like poo ice cream. And she's just like, what?
Yeah, what the fuck? Yeah, Americans are so weird.
Yeah.
He's Canadian, babe. No.
But we've been watching The Rehearsal and then catching up with White Lotus 3, which has been fun.
We just caught up with it. I love the Lisa storyline. It's so cute. It's like a K-drama.
She's a really good actress.
She's great.
Too. She's really good.
She's so pleasant.
She's really nice too.
You've met her.
Yeah, I shot the Blackpink documentary.
Oh,
and
sick.
She was so cool. Yeah.
Well, now we're jumping to your projects because
sorry.
No, that's great. So for listeners out there, Aaron is also, he's a filmmaker, he's a DJ, but your bread and butter is basically, I want to say, freelance filmmaking and shooting like big projects. So like I did this with Tubu Daddy last week. I Googled both of you guys and just see what pops up. And first of all, Airbear is also like a
gamer or something, right?
Well, it's also there's a bunch of Airbears. There's like one who's a musician as well.
Okay.
But Airbear also is like a air filtration brand.
So, oh, really?
Yeah. Oh. Anyway, but mostly it's your music that comes up. So I did a little bit of research and I saw, your website that has a bunch of your work on it, but you've done some really big projects. Like Hyundai is obviously huge, but you've done like really artsy stuff for other musicians, for like small businesses.
Yeah.
How do you get these projects?
A lot of it is like word of mouth. But I've been doing this job for like 15 years now. So I built up like a good client list. Like thankfully I'm in a position where I get contacted for work.
Cool.
But I do proposition things like some of the, like lower budget, more like passion projects. Like let's say doing it's almost like doing a spec film. Do you know what that is?
Yeah. Like kind of a proof of concept type.
Yeah. So I'll do it for some fashion brands and maybe we might do like a trade of just some clothes, but they let me just kind of go wild on it and do what I want.
Just shoot the content, make it good, make it engaging.
Yeah. So
watching your work, it's very cinematic, first of all, I think.
Oh, thank you.
I like everything from like just the way that you DP it to the edits. It's pleasant to watch. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I don't DP most of it though.
Okay.
I usually work with like a DOP.
You work with okay, gotcha.
Cinematographer for those who don't know.
But I like the direction of it too.
Oh, thank you.
Do you have any favorite projects that you've worked on, or?
There's too many. Like I'm pretty grateful when it comes to like any work that comes in, and I always try to be really engaged with it, and try to make it the best it can be. But let's see. The Hyundai project was really cool. I like a lot of these branded documentaries because I can usually, like highlight, like let's say marginalized people or causes. Like I did one that was on this research group that is doing research with disabled people to help pass like legislation that helps, disabled people live a better quality of life. And something like that. We weren't selling anything. It was just to,
like raise
put the word out.
Yeah.
Like a call to action and just being able to do that and just gain the trust, of people who, might not want to like come out and, engage in this kind of research and just build trust was a really fun project. I got to do one on this North Korean defector, and I wanted to talk about like mental health issues with North Korean defectors, which is something that's not ever, talked about.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. And then recently, I get to work with like some musician friends. So a lot of the music videos, it's, for friends who have labels or friends who are musicians like Yaeji. And, I got to work with her. And then I got to meet like Jung-hwa, who I was like a big fan of. And then the main director, this guy, Andrew Thomas Hwang, who does all the music videos for like Bjork and FK Twigs. Not all of them, but he has been for a while.
Yeah.
And, I was a fan of his for a while. So getting to meet these people and, it's just like an awesome set and seeing my friend like grow and that's always so cool.
Yeah. I mean, talking about Yaeji, you kept like posting photos of her and I was like, did he take he did take these photos.
That'd be weird if I was just like some
I was like,
fan.
Aaron Cho's not the kind of guy to just fanboy over someone like this. So, but so you've known Yaeji for a long time. You guys organically met through the music scene in New York, you were saying.
I think like 7 or 8 years. I was playing a show at the Lot Radio. And then she was playing right before me, and I walked in, and we saw each other, and it's like, when a Korean sees another Korean, and she has a very Korean face, and so do I.
She does, yeah.
So we were just like, are you Korean? She's like, yeah. And I was like, oh, I live in Korea. She's like, I'm going to Korea next month. And we hung out, and we had all these mutual friends, and she's just so cool. And
she seems like a genuine, like nice person. Yeah.
And her music has just been like getting better and better. So it's awesome seeing her and her transformation.
You don't think the fame has gotten to her head at all, though? You can say it on the podcast.
No, I mean, the thing is, she is like a different kind of musician. And I think she's really smart with the way that she's navigating this like kind of whole world. Like she's getting bigger, but she's keeping a lot of her friends and like, the people that she collaborates with now are the same people that she collaborated with in the beginning. And I think that is like really cool. Like she's kind of built her own community through like, getting bigger and becoming more successful. So I think that's what's like really cool about her.
Bringing other people up with her, so to speak. That's awesome.
Yeah. And she's always been like that. So the thing is, she's always like, she hasn't really changed, and like a few years ago, I remember she was playing a huge concert here, but then before we all got dinner with her parents and like she's so family oriented. And then backstage in that concert, like her grandma was like there, like clapping and like
she's
watching.
Like, Harmony, make it rain, girl.
Make it rain, or the fact that she puts her grandpa in like all of her music videos.
Oh, does
and like that's like really cool.
There's actually a Korean American comedy writer named Karen Chi that I feel very sort of, she and Yaeji have a similar spirit because she seems very like humble and normal. She's a really brilliant comedy writer. And all of her posts on Instagram are basically like her and her grandpa, and she like comes to Korea all the time. If I ever run into her organically, I'll try not to fan out, but
okay.
But she's just really funny. I also think she went to my high school in Palo Alto, but I can't confirm or deny that.
Oh, no way. Are there any famous people who went to your high school?
The lead singer of Third Eye Blind went to my high school.
Okay.
And then Pally, the
said
rival.
famous people. I'm just kidding. No.
And the rival high school, they can brag that James Franco went there, which is, I guess he's canceled. But also Dave Franco went there.
Oh, okay,
he was my
cool.
sister's year. So
I liked 21 Jump Street.
Such a fucking...
Such an underrated movie.
Such an underrated movie. Yeah.
Steven Spielberg went to my high school.
No way.
Yeah, for like a year. Yeah.
I didn't know Steven Spielberg went to school in the Bay.
He lived in Saratoga for a bit.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of directors, who were your biggest like influences creatively when you were young?
Young like movie directors.
Yeah, movie directors, or even like because going into DJing too. Like I'm sure music was huge in your life when you were an adolescent.
I don't know. I mean, like Asian cinema was really big for me. Seeing like Park Chan-wook movies and Wong Kar-wai. I'm wearing like a t-shirt.
You're wearing the Chungking Express. Yeah.
I mean, because I used to live in San Francisco, across the street from this video store called Lay Video, which is like really famous. And they had their sections divided by like director. So you could see like a Cronenberg movie, or you could see, let's see, I don't know, like, Wong Kar-wai or Akira Kurosawa. So Akira Kurosawa as well too was like a big deal. And then also like Kubrick movies too. I think the first time I watched like kids, like Larry Clark Harmony Korine movies was pretty insane. Like I didn't enjoy them because I thought they were too like...
They leave a bad taste in your mouth.
Yeah. But it's like, when you watch Gummo for the first time, it's like really intense.
It's so intense.
But it's a really interesting movie and really well made too.
Yeah. There's something about those kinds of movies though that I don't like them. Like I forget it's the one that Yun really liked. It's some French movie that's super fucked up. I forget what it was called.
Incendies?
Incendies.
Like Incendies.
It's like French Canadian.
Yeah, or like there was that one. It's like a German.
Villeneuve.
Yeah.
Like,
That's right. That's right.
It was like
who's a
movie
great
that
director.
Yeah.
But then there's also like this German one with like this guy, a young boy who joins the war, and it's like also really fucked up. There's like a whole list of them, right? Which they just make me feel bad after I finish watching.
I mean, it depends. I mean, some of those movies I really like, but I think just at the time, the thing is, it's like it was really shocking to me, but then something something about it was really like attracting me to is like a different world. And I think I lived a really sheltered world growing up, which is kind of why I think I got so into like subcultures growing up.
Yeah.
Like I was always into like kind of DIY like music scenes. And at that time it was like so mind blowing. And then I saw these other movies and I was like, oh, I need to get out of San Jose. I don't know if you're like that too, but I always felt really stuck in San Jose and I hated suburban life. Like I didn't really have like the best like kind of upbringing. So I think as soon as I could, like I just wanted to leave. So I would go to like San Francisco and Oakland and go to like a lot of raves there in high school and like sneak out of my house. And then when I was old enough, I would go to like a lot of shows. So a lot of like punk shows. I was really into like old hardcore and emo, but like old emo, not like My Chemical Romance or anything. Like kind of more like Rites of Spring and like...
no idea.
It's like, it was basically a subgenre of like just kind of punk music.
Okay,
so,
I see.
Like just like kind of angsty stuff, you know? But
would you say that was a bigger influence on you then? Like the music culture was?
Yeah, because all that kind of came hand in hand because, back in the day, it was harder to find cool stuff. And I don't know, something about it, like I just didn't fit into mainstream culture. So I rejected it so much, and I think that was kind of the cool stance anyways, too.
Yeah.
So there was like a lot of music, like just going to like CD stores or record stores trying to find stuff and then trying to find like just cool, weird, like hard to find movies, the first time you watched like what kind of movie is it? Like just like an art film.
Sure. I mean, I was saying last week with Robert's episode that my first time watching Waking Life was really mind-blowing.
I loved Waking Life. It was crazy. I didn't even understand most of it.
Me too. But I knew it was special. It felt special to me.
Yeah. I listened to that episode and I feel like it probably did age still well.
You think so?
I think so too, because I still think about it a lot,
Another film like that was like, that to me didn't age well though is Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas was huge for me.
I was never that into that movie, honestly.
I think I just liked it when I was a kid because it had drugs in it. Like I liked Terry Gilliam because I loved Monty Python. But
did Terry Gilliam direct that?
He did, yeah.
Oh, crazy.
And there was a time in my life where I thought Brazil and like 12
Brazil's
Monkeys like were the best movies ever. But I rewatched Fear and Loathing like 2 years ago and I turned it off after maybe like 30 minutes because I was just like, maybe because I've seen it so many times, but I was like, actually the acting's not, it's a little comical. Like there's so many bad edits in that film. It's like hilarious how bad the cuts are. So even from a technical point, I was like, this is not that great of a movie.
I feel like Bong Joon-ho could direct that too.
Oh yeah.
Because like his movies, like especially the Western ones are so over the top.
Did he do Good, Bad, and the Weird? Or who did that one?
No, he didn't do that one. I don't remember who that was, but it kind of like reminds you like the characters like in Okja or like Nikki 17.
Very comical.
Yeah. Like
overdone,
like theatrical,
Going back to like finding music, when you're mentioning that reminds me of an era when having a favorite band that only you really know was very special and very guarded.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's lost to the new generation. I'm sure it's not, right? I think that's an impulse that every young person has, is like something that's for them, that speaks to them, that makes them unique. But also it's like with the rise of Spotify and all these like streaming platforms, I wonder like how important that is. And even even now with like when you're on the DJ scene, do you see a lot of the same, I guess, kinds of, hey, this one funk artist from the 70s is like now blowing up and every DJ is trying to sample their stuff? Or
yeah, I mean, that was kind of like more my generation, trying to find like really weird, like esoteric stuff. But now I think it's cool because people are taking like, let's say, underground sounds and mashing it up with like a Taylor Swift song. I think now, I mean, there is a bit of like kind of homogenization. Like back then you really had to find like a physical copy of something, and that's what made it really fun when you found something really good, right? I remember when I first found like the Shins album, and then later I saw that scene in Garden State, and I was like,
you found I was like,
I want to throw up when I saw that scene, because I found that like Caring is Creepy, that first album. I think that's
it was Inverted World.
Oh,
Caring is
the
Creepy
blue
is the
one.
first track.
The blue one, right? And when I found that at Streetlight Records for $5 because like nobody wanted it. It didn't sell. And I remember when I got it and I would play it at this, I used to work at this tattoo shop and I would play it there all the time, which is like not really good tattoo music, you know? But, it was really good. And then later they started to blow up. And I think after Garden State, they got really big.
They got huge, yeah.
But like, I guess what I'm trying to say is that now it's really easy to find cool stuff. You can just like write an algorithm, for example. But I still think there's like a lot of individuality. And like I think fashion is like so cool now because I like that, like, let's say rappers are wearing like more like gender fluid clothing or like, the kids, like they're just mixing and matching a bunch of stuff and they're turning all these things and kind of remixing it and making it new. And I don't want to be like the old guy who says like, oh, like young kids, have it easy or something, or there's like no new culture, because I think there is. You just have to like look for it. And that's why I like DJing, because as much as I do like waking up early and not staying up, like sometimes I play like at 7 a.m.
So that's my next question, because
it keeps me young and it keeps me like, like it gives me an excuse to talk to these people and just see like what they're into, what they think about, like what they're passionate about, and that's really cool.
So what's the deal with your early morning sets? Like, is it better to play later in the evening, early in the morning, or how does that work?
The thing is, it's like especially with dance music, like I love going to shows. Like these days, me and my wife have been making more of an effort to go to like live music. You know, like shows in Korea are pretty expensive, but I think shows just around the world. But, you know, we've been buying tickets. We're going to go to Seoul Jazz Festival to see like Thundercat this year. And we're going to see like Pat Metheny and like just all these bands that we wanted to see. Like last year we got to see Kim Gordon and like Turnstile and stuff. And I think especially after Corona, it's like we need to have more of these like experiences where we just go outside and, you know, it's like we're not old yet, you know?
Yeah.
But with dance music, it's like you know, you have a headliner and they start at like 3 a.m. a lot of the time. But dance music is kind of just about like changing your reality, you know? And it's about just like getting tripped out and being in that kind of state that I think you're more easily kind of into later at night. And, you know, in other scenes, not in Korea, but you'll definitely have like, you know, people who are kind of just on a different like mental level, if you know what that means.
Yeah, I totally know what you mean. I mean, like, if you're in Brooklyn, everyone's on ketamine at 3 a.m. So, yeah.
But when I was in high school, I would stay up all night and go to these raves. And we would usually get home at like 9, 10 a.m., 11.
You lived with your grandma, you said, mostly?
I mean, like my parents split up when I was younger, so my grandma raised us for a while, and then like my parents remarried. So so then I was still living with like, you know, like my mom and my dad.
But you were able to get away with like just being gone until 9
I think at that point, because I was kind of like the black sheep. Like I had like blue hair and like I was kind of like punky looking. That's what my dad said. So I think it was
like funky or like punky.
like he said like he was like, you're too punky looking, because I just had like blue spiky hair and like piercings and stuff. And
man, a real alt kid.
I guess so.
Yeah, that's
I
awesome.
don't know, but it was I think they kind of gave up. You know? They're just like, just do whatever. And it's funny because I went through that so young. By the time I was 20, I kind of got it out of my system. Yeah.
Which is great because also, Aaron, you don't drink, which I think is great. Hopefully I can make that decision, that life choice when, you know, in a few years. But you kind of, I feel like the way I look at you, Aaron, is like, I only met you when, you know, you were well into your mid 30s, probably when I first met you.
Oh, true.
So it's like, I feel like I always looked at you as young, of like, he's probably been through a lot of, not like a lot of shit in terms of a necessarily negative, but because we have a similar background too. I'm like, and with the same name, I would always just look at you as like, he's definitely 5 years ahead of me in like life experience, kind of like, you know.
I would say like, because listening to your podcast and getting to know you that way, like, I think in some ways, like maybe our personalities can be kind of similar. Like we're both like social and like I know you're passionate about like your hobbies. I think it's amazing. Like congratulations on this being your 120th episode of a podcast. That's really cool.
It is crazy.
But I kind of feel like we've had almost like the opposite life because, you know, like you're really educated. You had like this academic path, you know, and you work in academia now. Not to say that that's like your life passion, you know, but like I kind of like just bummed it, you know, and I'm surprised like I'm not homeless right now. So like, even though I think I had a good upbringing, like my parents were good to me and they gave me a lot of opportunities. I do wish sometimes they pushed me a little bit more. And I think the undiagnosed ADHD, if I knew that, I would have probably been better at school. But there was like a certain shift in high school where I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I would rather just be into the things that I always wanted to be. And I kind of broke out of this like nerdy Asian guy show.
I mean, what you were saying at the top of the episode about not fitting in high school, because I mean, I can't imagine going to school with like only 2 Koreans or 1 other Korean. Because, you know, I was lucky in terms of my high school had at least 12 Koreans per grade. Like, and a lot of them I went to church with. So I felt secure in my...
It's like strength in numbers, you know? I felt like I was definitely bullied a lot, you know? So, and then just being like small and just kids, you know, pointing out that you're different and stuff. So I always kind of wish like, I wish I had like a bunch of like Korean kids to like back me up. And that's something that you'd only see at like church or something, you know?
Then how did you fall into filmmaking necessarily? You don't have formal education training in it? Did you like study it?
So I took a lot of film classes like in, you know, college and high school. We had a really good film like kind of extra, what was it? I don't know what you'd call it, but it's
like a club or like a
not a club. You still got credits for it, but we had this film teacher who was just showing us like crazy films, like, you know, like a lot of the classics like American Graffiti and like 2001 Space Odyssey. And like those films like really blew my mind. And then later at college, like I took some classes at like De Anza, and I was really into photography then. So that I think really like pushed things. Like, you know, like I had a film class and like the teacher shows us like Eraserhead and like Chungking Express and all these movies, which is like really crazy. And then just having friends, like I think kind of in the music scene, it was like a thing to just watch like, you know, cool movies and read like, you know, crazy books.
Did you read that book, Stay True by Hua Su?
No.
You should read it because he's maybe like 10 years older than you, but he's from the Bay Area. He's a Taiwanese guy, and it's all about his love of zine culture. Like, zine counterculture was his thing.
Zines,
But a lot of things that you're saying are like very similar to his experience as an Asian in the Bay Area in the 90s. It's weird in retrospect to look back on it because even when you were saying how you don't want to go back to America, I do, right? I still have this romanticized version because I basically grew up in paradise. Like Palo Alto is like one of the greatest places to ever grow up, and I definitely had no idea it was like an amazing place. All my friends I grew up with, we all joke how like, yeah, now we can't afford it. No one can afford to live there. We'll never be able to raise our kids there. But I have this nostalgic goal of like, if I ever make $10 million, maybe I could buy a house and send my kids to public school there. But then I sometimes come back to this place of Korea's amazing, and it's been like my home for 13 years. I love it here. I really have no complaints. Like, why would I ever leave, you know? Yeah,
and in some ways you kind of have an advantage here too, you know, because you could raise your kid or kids like differently too. Like from when they're born, they're going to be able to speak English, you know, because you'll be communicating with, you know.
Maybe I'll learn Korean finally. Just trying to learn Korean in real time with my baby.
Oh yeah,
you know you should take classes. I mean, whenever I have free time,
sit in
like Billy Madison,
go to Hagwon. Yeah,
you could do it. It's in your DNA. So I really believe that you can do it. You just have to be in more environments where you're speaking it.
Yeah. You hear that, babe?
Like, it's funny, like, you know, like dance music, for example, and like a lot of this music scenes, like there's so much influence from other countries, right? But rarely do I meet people who speak like really good English. So usually I'm speaking Korean.
Right.
So that helped a lot too.
And
it's so funny because when I'm speaking Korean, like one of my friends who's Korean was like, oh, Aaron is so quiet. And then this other friend's like, no, he's not. When he's speaking English, he's talks a lot. But then when he's speaking Korean, then he's like very yamjone. So
that's how I come across too. When people are speaking Korean, I don't say shit.
Yeah, for sure.
But then you get to the point. I think there's a specific time that I remember I was in this like friend group, and there's this white friend who speaks Korean well, and he was talking like way more than me and kind of leading the conversation. I was looking at him just like, I can't let this happen, you know? I was like, I need to like
hold it
up
down.
my Korean game. So then now it's like I'm not perfect at it, but now I can talk about politics, and that's really cool.
Yeah. Okay, so going to your music, dude. I really like your music. It's very dancey. It's very energetic. I was putting it on earlier today to like do research on you, and I was just like talking to Jay and I was dancing, and then she's like, "Oh my god!" And apparently the baby was also dancing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, that's cool. Thank you, because I know it's like not everyone's thing, you know. And
but
it's funny
exactly
because
what you want to hear at 3 a.m. That's what I learned. That's what I put together of like, oh, that's why Aaron's always spinning later in the evening, because people are like, they're drunk, they're having a good time. And then now it's just like, okay, let's like sweat this off for like a good hour. Let's just move.
Yeah. It definitely like that kind of is what helps. But like, you know, like I'm into all kinds of music. Like rarely in my free time am I ever listening to dance music. Like it's such like kind of functional music. You're not really supposed to listen to the whole thing, which is why mixes are good, because, you know, like a reason why a dance song is 8 minutes long is because you're supposed to mix the beginning and the end. So like those parts kind of don't matter. And then you change it up depending on like, you know, the way that the crowd is reacting to it. But, you know, in my free time, I listen to like, you know, like today I was listening to just like jazz music or something. Or
do you produce as well? Like make your own beats?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Gotcha.
So I started making music like 3 years ago, and I make a lot of music with my friends. I'm not that good at like DAWs. Like DAWs, like music producing software. But my friends are, and we just make music together. And then I use a little bit of hardware, like samplers, and I make like beats on my phone and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's really fun. I kind of like it more than DJing these days.
Did you ever play an instrument growing up? Were you like musically
I used to
talented?
play in some bands, but I played like more like percussion and like typical Asian kid. Like I played violin and piano, but I forgot like all of it.
Hell yeah! Have you ever played a private gig before?
I don't know. Actually, I played when I tried to think about it. It's an interesting question. Like a couple years ago, I was playing a gig, and this was like during when Corona was like raging, so there weren't a lot of gigs. But I think kind of restrictions were like easing, and I played this party. I know this guy who's a designer, former designer for Nike, and then he moved to Genesis, and one of the designers there,
Wait, like Genesis, like car company? Okay.
one of the designers there is this British guy, and he was like, "Oh, I want you to play all this like British like music." He grew up like in the 80s, 90s. So I was like, "Oh, like new wave, like post punk, like stuff that I'm actually into." And then his dad like created the DeLorean, right? The DeLorean car.
Okay.
So
There was a documentary about that guy.
Yeah. Well, the birthday present they had prepared for him were those like Nike like Back to the Future shoes. So like when they were bringing that out, they had me play like the Back to the Future theme song, and then I played that Huey Lewis and the News like Back in Time song.
Yeah.
That was like pretty cool. Like it's really random.
That's so
but
random.
Yeah, getting to play like the party for like like the guy,
The inventor of the DeLorean.
Yeah, like
son.
and then playing the Back to the Future song. Like
And then he's like,
most,
meanwhile, he's like, I'll never escape my father's shadow. Yeah.
it's like the most appropriate time to play that song. So like that was pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah, it was random.
I actually, this is not on the outline, and you don't have to share, but do you get paid for like your Nyappy gigs, or does it just come with free drinks? How much do they pay you?
In Korea, the DJ fee is not that high. It's usually about like 100 to 200,000 won. And then if you play events, that's kind of like where you make more money. You can make like, 5 times, 10 times more, but it really depends. But club ones are definitely more fun.
Okay.
And then radio gigs, those are usually like free, and you do it for like
promotion, basically.
Promotion, just to make like content and stuff. But clubs, it's like I have to, or I'm not coming out at 3 in the morning.
I was going to say, yeah.
Right.
But 100 to 200, yeah, I guess.
If I'm playing gigs abroad, though, I'll get paid more. But music for me was never like about the money. But you still get paid more than doing a band. A band, you have to split that like 4 or 5 ways, which is insane.
I mean, we do these like improv shows, and sometimes we get like manon for our time. But like all in, we had like 3 hours of rehearsal. It's like not worth my time.
I mean,
but
I've been
DJing
for like 20 years, so I hope to get some money. And I just think it's not right to not pay artists.
For sure.
Yeah.
Then you must have big opinions about AI.
Oh, not that much. Yeah.
Well, because I was thinking like AI DJ, like my Spotify DJ. Hey, Aaron, this is a throwback to your most listened songs in 2022. Whatever, like he sounds not like that. But the fact that my Spotify can actually play a string of like 20 songs chosen from different genres and like they all flow together is pretty remarkable.
Yeah. I think that what Spotify is good at is finding songs that you like forgot about. It's like
it played My Morning Jacket for me, and I was like,
exactly.
oh my god, I totally
stuff
forgot
like that.
about
Stuff like that, like things that you used to listen to and you kind of like forgot about. So that's what I like about it. Or like sometimes I'll throw on like a 90s R&B mix or something, but rarely do I find like a lot of new music on there. So yeah.
How do you find your music, Jay?
I haven't been really searching actively for it these days, but when I first came to Korea, I would go to this cafe in kind of near Hongdae, and they play really good music. So I would just Shazam the shit out of that like all day.
Cool.
And that's how I found like Mid-Air Thief, which is one of my favorite. And then sometimes I will like look up an artist on Spotify that I'm like into, and then it'll have like similar artists, and that's how I found like this band or this guy in Netherlands called Felbum, who I really like.
Okay, cool.
So I guess like a mix of like places that play good music, and then like finding similar artists.
I've noticed that a lot of the cafes I go to, but this is because all the cafes I go to are very like hip, like the Hannam ones, but they're all playing the playlist that I listen to, which is Polo and Pan, like 2 years ago, I discovered at a cafe, and I was like, this French group is great. And then now it's like, Fauna Hughes and Karanbin and Suki Waterhouse and Oracle Sisters, Men I Trust. Like these bands have been around for a while, but
I like Men I Trust.
I love them, right? But like I'm now just getting into them because Spotify kind of like overloads it onto me, and I'm a big fan. But I also don't know the names of half these people. Like I used to be the kind of person when I hear a song, I have to know everything about that artist. I want to know all their discography. And now I'm just too lazy. But I literally can't name half the songs that are on my liked list from Spotify, which I think is a shame. I used to have a much more like intimate relationship with my music.
I think there's just like less scenes now though too. So sometimes you don't need to like know everything about them. I think sometimes they're just trying to capture like a vibe. Like Man I Trust and Krong Bean, it's almost like really good BGM music, not something that you necessarily like want to watch like live all the time because it's really good just to have in the background and just chill out too. But I would say that some of that music sounds really similar to each other, so of course you like it. You know, it's like the way that we like city pop or 80s music. There's something about it, we grew up with it, so it's like really familiar. It's not like listening to like The Clash or something, where they had this whole discography and they're, like the circumstances where the music was made. Like, let's say they were censored in some country. It's kind of...
It is amazing when I wake up sometimes being like, I really want to listen to like the Ramones. I just want to listen to like one of their albums front to back, you know, like... Very rarely does it happen these days, but I remember...
You should.
I should.
That's what running is good for, because I listen to a lot of music. Like, the one thing that I miss about living here is like I kind of miss driving, and then just putting on a podcast or a record and just listening to the whole thing. So I get to do that with running, so that's really nice. It kind of forces you just to listen to the whole thing.
Tell us about, last question for DJs, okay?
Okay.
Tell me about like the DJ culture in Korea and any sort of hot goss, or like what types of DJs do you normally encounter? Are there like different, for example, DJ Soda, when she blew up, she's great, but after she became big, I noticed a lot of similar looking Korean girls trying to become DJs based on this similar, maybe I would say not formula, because I think DJ Soda is really good at DJing too, but she's also like marketable. So I wonder, like, is that something that you encounter a lot too, of people who maybe are to DJ because they want to be visible versus ones who are more into the music?
I think that's see, the thing is like DJing, it's like saying like, you're into like music or something, performing music. There's so many different types of DJing. Like that kind of world is like completely different from me.
From what you do.
It's funny because people will be like, oh, like, Hyung, like I want to go to like your club, and then they go to the club and it's like, I'm like, it might be boring for you, because it's not like an EDM club, so it's not maybe what you're expecting. Maybe some of the music might be like a little bit too deep or too like sad or something. So like DJ Soda, I respect like all those DJs and everyone like, doing what they're doing. But I think I play kind of more in like the underground music space. So we don't really have like DJs like that. If anything, like, people are influential. Like there's so many talented people who are like pushing boundaries, but I wouldn't call them influencers.
I see.
They're not doing it for the sake of fame. They're doing it as a form of expression. So if anything, like the kind of dance music scene that I'm in, I feel like it's more similar to like going to like punk shows and indie shows back in the day.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So it's like all the kids, like they kind of sold their guitars for like,
but
drum machines.
I mean, you must see like beginners trying to enter the space. Is there a way to tell like someone's kind of a noob at DJing, or like?
No, I mean, maybe like let's say playing an opening set is like one of the most difficult sets to play, because you have to kind of start from nothing, and the opening set is so important because it's gonna set the kind of base for the entire night, right? If you go to like a good proper like club where they're into kind of having like this flow from beginning to end, so the opening DJ, sometimes I think people like they might want to play, it's like, oh, this is my time, so I'm going to play as energetic as possible. And that's something that you don't want to do. You kind of want to play in more of a subdued way and have a lot more restraint. But then the slow songs, you can either start like lower energy or lower in BPM, but you still want to have songs that are still interesting.
I see.
So you're not just playing songs that like people come in and they want to leave. Like sometimes I'll play sets and I remember it's like I'm 10 minutes in, there's nobody there, and someone comes up and is like, can you play like some hard techno?
Yeah.
And like, I will, but not right now. You know, because it's not, you're kind of like not supposed to, and that messes up the next DJ because then they don't have anywhere to go from there.
Right.
And then if you play too energetic, you can't go back down.
Yeah.
If you play too high energy, it's always about like controlling energy. So like people will get exhausted really, really quickly.
Okay.
So I would say like an opening set, like learning that sometimes for new DJs, that's like something that is more difficult for them.
Okay. Good answer. Good
Yeah.
answer. This is really funny. Before you came, I went to a cafe to read, and I took 2 shots of espresso, and I had to shit so bad.
Oh, so do you need to take a break?
Jay and Aaron, I want you guys to catch up for 5 minutes while I shit my brains out. I'll be right back. I'm so sorry.
That's awesome.
You could have just said it like a long time ago.
No.
Yeah.
Cool.
So Aaron, you're one of the first person that I met when I moved to Korea.
I know, crazy,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you played with my brother's band before.
Yeah. It turns out like I played a show with your brother's band in like 2015 or something like that, and yeah,
It's the water on. That's good. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's so funny because I do that. But yeah, like it was cool to connect through like mutual friends like that. Like the guy who introduced us, Tim, is still like one of my favorite people like in the world.
Yeah, same.
He's a legend.
Yeah.
Did you see him recently?
I saw him a few months ago.
Yeah,
when
yeah,
he
yeah,
came.
when he was here.
Yeah, he's one of the best people. Yeah, it's like
It was one of those where it was one of those poos where my stomach was like,
Yeah.
you know, and then like,
sure.
and then I could feel like a few bubbles, and then I was like,
For sure.
I can hold this, and then it kept doing it every like
no.
2.
You have
and I
really
feel
nice
great.
eyebrows.
Dude. They're tattoos, bro.
I just noticed that because when you're coming out, I was like, is he wearing makeup?
he didn't actually have to take a shit. He had to.
I had to go
touch
do
up.
my
Yeah,
eyebrows.
he had to touch up.
Bro.
Like dripping.
No, and the fact of the matter is I get complimented on my eyebrows once in a while, and I hate having to be like, thank you. They're tattooed onto my face. But I'm glad I did because I had weak ass eyebrows before Jaehyun made me go get cosmetic.
Do you have other tattoos?
I have like I have a soju frog from the
Oh,
soju
that's really
bottle.
cute.
Yeah, and I have one from the novel.
Trumpet.
You know what's
trumpet.
cool is that like I like how you're like super into skateboarding because like our hometown is like so famous for skateboarding.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I remember I knew this guy and he moved from Wisconsin to San Jose just for
Just to
skating.
skate, yeah.
And then I just grew up with so many skaters, like playing in bands. Like I would run into like Jerry Sue or like
Oh my
Caswell
God.
Berry,
wow.
like all those people.
The Enjoy guys.
Yeah. And like Louis Barletto, like all those people. And like I didn't realize, and I was never into skating, but I watched like Epically Latered a lot.
Yeah, I love that series.
And I like a lot of the art that came from skateboarding.
For sure. I mean, Jerry
Like-
Sue's a great example. He's
like
a
his
really good
photography,
photographer, really
like
talented.
Ed Templeton.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like Don Caballero. Like
You know
like,
Spanky, Kevin Long.
yeah.
His art is really good.
I'm a big fan of just him as a person.
Yeah.
Like I think just like kind of what he went through and his sobriety. That's really cool.
It's remarkable to see how many skateboarders are also super gifted visual artists. And it can't just be a coincidence. Like there's something about what makes them great on a skateboard is why their creativity is so brilliant. I always think about that. I'm like, I would love to buy an original Jerry Sue. I went to one of his shows actually in LA, but like, I was broke at the time and the copies were like $500 without the frame. And I was like, I can't afford it. But
I think when I first met you, you were wearing like a sci-fi fantasy.
I
like,
was,
t-shirt, and
I was really
like,
into his brand.
Cool.
Yeah.
So like, hey, are you into science fiction?
Do we want to do news stuff or what do you think? There's a lot of stuff.
Can we
in
talk
the
a little
news.
bit about San Jose?
Sure.
Yeah. So like you wrote this thing about like kind of childhood spots. So I think San Jose is a really underrated like food city. There's so much good food there that people don't know about. I would say some of the food is a lot better than San Francisco.
Okay.
And then even some parts in SoCal, and I know those are like.
Are you talking
fighting words.
about like
Vietnamese food, I'm sure.
Vietnamese food is
right?
amazing.
Yeah.
I think the Mexican food is like really underrated.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I can't
it's
think
really
of
good.
What's a San Jose spot for Mexican?
Well, like the really famous spots, they're kind of more like Tex-Mex. It would be like La Victoria's.
La Victoria.
Do you remember that place? It was next to Iguanas. It was in downtown San Jose. But they had amazing burritos, like Super Taqueria. A lot of the places that I go to now, they're kind of newer. But, you know, when things get trendy, like the birria, for example, like the birria ramen, we have that in San Jose.
Oh,
So we
I
have
see.
like that, but then you don't have the hype that you would like in LA. You know, it's not like going to Courage Bagels, you know, and as good as the bagel is, you're waiting for over an hour. And, you know, like I've kind of lost my appetite at that point.
But do you go back to the Bay Area like once a year then?
Yeah, my mom lives there,
Okay.
and I like to go. It's always cool when you go with your partner because then you feel like you can show them things like, here's
yeah.
the mall, like, here's hot dog on a stick.
Oh my God.
You know, and she's like, oh my gosh, like taking them to Walmart is like really fun.
Yeah.
But there's this place that I really love that was next to my old church called Stan's Donuts.
Stan's Donuts,
It's the best donut in the world.
You know, there's a lot of really good donut places. It's just in general. I'm sure in LA too, but Bay Area has a few.
Yeah. Owned by
And the whole-
Cambodians.
Yeah, exactly. They're owned by Cambodians.
Yeah, the whole donut thing started in California. Right?
Yeah. But Stan's Donuts, check it out. It's like their glazed donuts are just the best donuts in the world. They're like, because, you know, like I like, you know, the ones in Korea, but they're not fluffy enough. And you want it to be more about the inside than the outside.
Sure.
Like they're still
like
really
the bite chew.
Like they need to be really fluffy and pillowy, and that's kind of Stan's. And they haven't really like raised their prices so much, so you can still get like a dozen for like $10.
Yeah.
And they are so good.
Damn, you're a
I
donut
love
guy.
those like strip mall donut shops.
Yeah.
I hate croissants. I think they're like one of the most overrated foods because they're all like flaky and greasy and shit.
They get all over the place.
But I love a shitty ham and cheese croissant from a donut shop. Those
Especially
are
when you grill it too, because then the butter kind of like
cheese
activates and
Ooh, we haven't
melty
even talked
cheese,
about
yeah.
your baking, your pizza
Oh.
baking.
yeah. Well, I bought an oven before I even bought a TV.
Whoa.
So I
you've been
was-
cooking for a long time.
Yeah, I was always into cooking. Like my
Okay.
grandma was a chef, so
Oh, cool.
I think I was just around good food. Like my grandma had a restaurant in Gwangjang Market for 20 years, and she was the first woman in Korea with a cooking license. Like for
Whoa.
Like
South Korea.
Okay.
Yeah.
To like serve food. And, I see.
Like my grandma is crazy. She used to she raised all her kids like selling like, you know, manjupang. You know what that is?
Manjupang? No.
It's like these kind of round bang that's sometimes filled with like custard or red bean. And she used to stuff like a whole potari with it. So those big like almost like a silk blanket, and then just put a bunch in them, carry them like on her head, and just going up and down the trains from Daegu to Seoul, and just come back with like a potari of money.
Yeah.
And then she
Sick.
saved all that money, and then
Moved to
she started
America?
a restaurant.
Okay, gotcha.
And then did that for 20 years. And my aunt worked there. She kind of raised all her kids that way because my grandma's husband passed away when she was, you know, when they were really young. So she just had to like raise them, and she's a really good cook.
Cool.
Yeah.
Damn.
And San Jose has amazing Korean food too, actually.
I can see that.
Yeah.
That's one thing that, first of all, San Francisco sucks at Korean food.
Totally.
You're right? Which is bizarre.
Totally.
How have they not dialed that in?
There aren't Koreans in San Francisco.
Yeah, I
Like
know.
Geary,
Yeah.
there is.
There's like three
some.
on Geary. Yeah.
I used to
Yeah.
work at one over there, like a kind of Korean fusion restaurant. But yeah, it's not like Oakland. Like everyone knows that Oakland or San Jose is where you go for Korean
Yeah,
food. And then when you go to LA, it's like, oh my gosh, the
Everywhere.
Korean food is sometimes better than Korea.
That's what people be saying, bro.
Sometimes it is. I
Yeah.
mean, it's definitely like way more expensive.
Yeah.
But sundubu jjigae in LA is so good.
I was
Yeah, it's
just
way
talking about
better.
that with Uncle Jay,
Yeah.
actually.
Or
'cause
LA galbi is so
There's a
good.
spot right here called Koreatown Plaza
Yeah.
that their LA style sundubu hits. the
Oh, that's
right.
cool.
Yeah, it's definitely like a taste of home. But
Yeah.
it's just MSG and sugar, a little bit
Like
of sugar.
I love kalbichim, it's awesome, but for me kalbi means like LA kalbi. And like kind of ripping it off the bone, like having like the chewy tendon parts, like that is the
Yeah.
best. Like you go to church and you take those paper plates and you put like the panchan that you like, and then just like three strips of kalbi.
Dude.
Yeah, I mean,
so good.
Thanksgiving for us growing up, we always had LA kalbi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
And we didn't call it LA kalbi, we just called it kalbi, right?
Yeah.
I actually do miss LA kalbi as well.
Yeah.
Although
you
I
should
was-
make it.
It's
I
not
see
that
you
hard.
cooking
No,
too.
it's not that hard. You're
I
right.
see you
I need to
cooking.
get the cut, but you're right because there's a butcher right down the street. We live in Korea. It shouldn't be that hard. But you know, the butchers in Korea don't cut the LA kalbi the same way. That's why it's kind of hard to get.
Yeah.
But
Have you
you're
been
right.
to 바다식당 in Hannam-dong? You know, like the famous 부대찌개 place? Budae-jjigae place?
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll do like an LA kalbi, but it's funny because that place was like the place of the GIs to go to, like when they were like stationed in Itaewon like 40 years ago.
That's the
And
one
they
with the
just,
big
like,
ass line, right?
Yeah, they cover it in like don't get mad at me, this restaurant. I don't think it is, but it almost tastes like Casey Masterpiece barbecue sauce, and they call it like steak. You know, it's really good. But they serve it, so you should just buy some and make it for your pregnant wife.
I will. I will. We should also get together and I'll cook. I want to learn how to make pizza from you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really into making pizza.
Yeah.
Although shout out to Matt Blessy, that is the best pizza in Korea.
Pizza in Korea.
100%.
I actually went to this place recently, or I went last year in Japan, and they had a best like top 50 pizza list, and that place got number 3. The guy who worked there, he works for Savoy for a really long time. And that was the place on Ugly Delicious.
Yeah.
It was really famous.
We went to Savoy, yeah.
And I think Matt's pizza is better.
Better?
Yeah, because Matt can do so much with little. Because
Yeah.
it's like, we don't have like the 00 flour here, although Korean flour is actually really good. And cheese is so expensive here. So we can't just put like quattro formaggio, like all those cheeses. It makes it really expensive. But he kind of skips all that and he just makes it super good. And
Yeah.
before that, I used to really like Tom's, and that still has a special place. But Matt like elevates pizza.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
We'll have you on for the pizza episode. But last question before we conclude. Aaron Choe, what is your favorite side dish? What is your favorite banchan?
I was actually thinking about this. Have you ever had 매실 장아찌?
매실 장아찌. No.
So you know what 매실 is? Like
I
the
know
pickled
매실.
plums, right? And in Japan, you have like the umeboshi, right? But this one, it's 매실 and it's plum, but they make it into a kimchi almost.
Oh,
so it's a little bit spicy. It's pickled. It's more firm, less like pasty than like umeboshi. And I had it for the first time actually at a restaurant that Matt worked at called Mishmash when he was the sous chef there.
I remember
And
mishmash.
it's like almost like, I think it's kind of like a royal banchan. Like it's not an everyday thing because it's expensive. But I had it and I was like to the main chef there, I was like, what is this? This is so good. And we had our wedding there. And I specifically asked them, like, can you make this for everybody? Because I want to share it with everybody.
Aw.
So like, that's like still like my favorite banchan. It's so good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good story.
That I like a lot of banchan. So.
Well, Aaron Choe, thank you so much for being on this episode, the 120th episode of the podcast. This is huge.
Congratulations.
Thank you again for coming on.
Thank
guys,
you for the timing too, because like tomorrow, your wife might pop out a baby.
I know. Tomorrow's her due date. We'll see. But guys, check out Aaron Choe's stuff and catch Aaron playing his sets around Seoul. Follow him on Instagram to see where he's playing next. Thanks for coming on, bro.
Thank you so much.